first of all, it's a real big honor to interview you, to talk to you, Paul. And I got to tell you, I am not a professional interviewer, but I'm curious. So I'll just ask you, some things.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, I assume sometime in the 60s. Set the stage. When did you first hear the word meditation, and what did you make of it?
It was actually George Harrison's wife, Patty, who had heard that Maharishi was coming to town. And she said we should all go. It was one of those things. And I was personally not in a good place. I think, just overdoing it in the 60s. So I was just not very sort of centered. And I was looking for something. I think we all were. So we heard that Maharishi was going to have a meeting and give a lecture. So that was the first time I'd heard about meditation. But we'd actually seen him when we were kids growing up in Liverpool. Because, as you know, he went around the world 7 times to spread his message. And he was on TV. And we remembered this giggly little guy. And we thought we loved him. Mm-hmm. We just said, he's so cool, And he was just on TV and he was giving an interview. And he would giggle, that fabulous laugh of his. Mm-hmm. And he was very entertaining and very attractive. So we all said, that's that guy. But then I say, he was giving a lecture.
Where was it?
In London.
Do you remember the place?
I don't remember it. I think it was in Kensington, Chelsea or somewhere. But, so that was the first time I heard about it, and we all went along to listen.
Uh-huh. And in the talk, what feeling, came over you about what he was saying, his message?
It was very interesting. It was very calming, and it seemed like something that was worth trying. He put it very well. He made it seem simple. He made it seem very attractive. And so I think we were all just sold. And I say his personality was a lot to do with Maharishi. I think you've seen other people who were maybe a little more serious, which wasn't a bad thing, but he put humor. But he had a very infectious sense of humor. Mm-hmm. So I think that was very attractive to us. Mm-hmm. It was a great message. It was something I think we felt we needed, but put over in this way. It was very attractive.
And so did Maharishi personally teach you?
Yes, so what happened then, we went to Bangor in Wales, and we attended a little seminar there. And he then gave us a mantra, which was very nice, a great occasion. Looking back on it, it definitely was a great occasion. Then it was terrific too. There were always lots of flowers around Maharishi, so it was always a very nature was very involved. You got the feeling, he often used to carry the flowers, so it was this feeling of connection with nature that was very grounding, and it was great. One by one, we went into a room where Maharishi was there, and he just talked very quietly for a little while. And then he just said, I'm going to say your mantra, and I want you to repeat it to me once to make sure you've got it. And then I don't want you to ever say it again. I want you to it's yours. You don't need to verbalize it. You want to keep it inside. And so he did. He just leaned over and he whispered my mantra. And I heard it clearly. I whispered it back, and he said that. He smiled. And so that was it, really.
And then you had your first meditation with that mantra.
And then with that mantra, then we each went and we meditated. And he warned that thoughts would come flooding in, which obviously is the natural thing. But he explained how to just deal with that.
Ringo, it's so good to talk to you. I want to ask you, where were you when you first heard about meditation? And what was your thought, and how did it lead to transcendental meditation?
I was in England, and Maureen and I, my first wife, we were having our second son. And I came back from the hospital that night, and there was a message from George, and there was a message from John. And they'd been to the Hilton Hotel to hear Maharishi speak. And they said, we've met this guy, and we're all going to Wales a couple of weeks from now. And you've got to come. So that's how I heard about it from them. And then we went to Wales. We'd taken over a college. But, you know, the sad thing that happened was that Brian Epstein died. So we didn't stay there too long. We came back to London. So that was my introduction. And, you know, when I saw Maharishi was so cool because he didn't know who the hell we were. But when we got off the train, he saw all these fans. You know, it was 67. It was people madness. So suddenly I had this great idea. Oh, you boys, you can go on a world tour and we can open an ashram or a meditation center everywhere we stop. Well, we talked him out of that. So that was that. And then we went to India. You know, I related that story. It was an incredible journey because, you know, when we got to the ashram, and I was only there 2 weeks because our baby wasn't that old, but we gave ourselves 2 weeks to come and experience whatever was going to go on. And so hanging out with a lot of musicians, it seemed, at that time, you know, as everyone shared. You know, Don was there and Mike, everybody was there, and a lot of other players too. So it was interesting because we knew a lot of the people. And, you know, my big story, Maharishi, he was always smiling. And I wanted that joy, really. That's what I saw. It was great joy. And so we, you know, he gave us our mantra, he gave me my mantra, and we would all meditate together. And in India, it was great. And we had this one, you know, on this top of one of the halls there, all outside meditated. And I think it really, you know, though I meditate either by myself or with Barbara, and it's been a while since I've done like group meditation, but the energy of a group meditation is powerful, you know. I think what meditation is for me is that it gives me a moment to stop the thinking and let my heart come forward, you know. That's how I've always felt about it, because my thinking will drive me balmy. You know, so next question.
Beautiful, Ringo. So you stayed there 14 days.
I did, and then we came back.
Right, and do you remember Maharishi teaching you and the first meditation that you had?
Well, with him we had lectures.
When he gave you your mantra.
Yeah, I remember that so well, and with an apple and a white handkerchief. And he gave me this mantra, my mantra. And, you know, I made a promise not to tell anyone else my mantra.
Exactly.
And after that, George and I were in a room hinting about telling each other.
You rascals.
We're
rascals.
We're in our 20s. And we got really close, but we'd never said it. But we got close. But when we got really close, I was sick. You know what I mean? I was breaking this promise. I was like, So anyway, I've never, ever entertained the idea of telling anyone what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and if I talk to anyone, I say, well, I got my mantra, you know, milk bottle. And that's how you do it. He used to always carry these flowers. And why he held the flowers was that he would take me to my lowest molecule, take a molecule, and scientifically, and he always stressed that, you know, it's not like a Hindu thing, it's scientifically my molecule. When we get it down to its smallest atom, and you take a flower and scientifically take its molecule down, they are both the same. So his force was of manifestation. You know, we manifest like this, and flowers manifest like that, which used to mess up my kids, because I'd say, yes, when I was a cabbage, and you were a cabbage, Dad.